Arr, matey. Welcome to the Rums and Bums podcast. My name is E.D.Ward. You happen to have any booty? No? Guess not. Ben?
Ed?
What's up, man?
Yeah, what's up?
How's life been treating you since EFA? It's been a long time.
Well, I have tried to become a functional human being, a functional adult. It hasn't been treating me too well.
I see, yes. Meanwhile, I have once again been consumed with gaming addiction and finding my mojo to work out.
A cyclical thing, I see.
Yeah, it all depends on my sleep cycles. Hopefully, this episode provides the correct incentive to reset my sleep and hopefully allow me to once again be productive in physical activity.
Yeah, you could always try getting stepped for real. I find it helps put your sleep cycle into whack.
I mean, I'm sure bloodletting has some utility given that I found out firsthand during AFA when I stupidly cut my own thumb.
Right.
But with that said, I don't think I don't think self-euthanization is going to help.
No. Anyways, we are whiskeys and whips, right? So what's with the rum bottle?
Rums and bums. It rhymes.
Right, rums and bums. You really want some bum, man?
I mean, I asked for booty, but clearly I couldn't find any.
Alright, yeah. So rums.
Yeah. Besides, what is the point of the rum even? You told me to, do something funny related to the topic du jour. So my feeling, everyone else, and what is the topic du jour?
Alright, R.E.D. indeed. We are talking about pirates today.
As in real pirates, or
Well, pirates can be as real as you want them to be. I mean,
I think Pirates of the Caribbean is pretty real.
well, legally pirates are real. And depends on what.
Realistically, pirates are real.
Yeah, depends on what you define them as. But yeah, pirates in general.
Yes. So why don't you tell me a bit more of what topics on pirates we're talking about today? Are we talking about pirates and anime?
We are an anime podcast, I guess, but
Okay,
that's one part of it.
Then do you know any pirate depictions in anime?
Well, clearly.
Okay, go on.
I know of One Piece. I know of it.
There's a low bar to set.
It is indeed a low bar.
Yeah. That is a low bar. Okay, so who is your favorite One Piece character?
Good question. I have not watched enough to honestly know who exists in One Piece. So, I guess Luffy, because he's the only one that I know of.
Luffy.
Luffy?
My goodness, Luffy. I had a friend. You surely you know in League of Legends. You know the character Talon.
Talon.
Yeah, the guy called Talon, pronounced as Talon, and then there was another guy who pronounced as Talon, and now there's you, Luffy, Luffy Tuffy.
Man, there's any way of pronouncing is fine as long as you get the message.
Tomato.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Luffy.
Potato.
Good thing I'm not a One Piece stan, otherwise you're gonna get lynched.
I think I'm gonna get lynched anyways, but yeah, pirates.
Yeah, so I've read like the whole One Piece, but even now I don't think I can say that. I read, not watched. I think watching is a monumental undertaking by itself. Reading is a lot more economical.
Fair enough.
And there's manga superiority, of course.
Yes.
Although I do think there are good episodes where the animation does add value to the fight or the story, like the emotions.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. With that said, I'll be with you in that I don't have a specific One Piece character. But hey, let's talk about another depiction of pirates in anime manga. You happen to have another one?
Pray tell, I have no idea about any other. Honestly, I have no idea about any other pirates depictions in mangas or anime.
Well,
period.
if we're talking about manga, maybe original Netflix animation, then Bucky actually has a good example of a pirate in the form of Che Guevara. Does the name sound familiar to you?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he wasn't a pirate.
Well, yes, but in Bucky, you have fictional depictions of Obama, fictional depictions of Trump, you have fictional depiction of Biden, so it's fair enough to say that time works differently in Bucky.
Yeah.
But let's say Che Guevara is actually depicted as a pirate in the Buckyverse. Like what he did was that he is the I would say president of his own country, island country. And what he did when he was in his younger days is that he went around on a very dingy old pirate ship. He would go and raid like passenger ships, especially the passenger cruisers. Then he would take their belongings like a true pirate would, use it to fund his nation.
You sure you're not just talking about Captain Philip? No, wait. Captain Philip? Yeah.
I have no idea who that is.
No?
No. But that is how Che Guevara is actually depicted in Baki.
Look at me. I am the captain now. Does that not ring any bells?
No. Only captain I know is Capitan Sing Sing, and that's about it. That he is a Dota streamer.
Yep.
If that's
Sounds
it,
about right.
you happen to have any more examples? I have a few more I could list, but it'll be all very restricted to a very niche topic.
I mean, honestly, if we were to mention pirates in the fantasy kind of pirates where they sail the high seas, plunder them booties and whatnot, yeah, One Piece is about it.
Well then, you heard of Fate Grand Order?
Heard of it? And that's about it.
Well then, did you know that there are real life pirates in there? Oh, not say real life pirates, but
References?
how Fate works is that you have heroic spirits who are the enshrined manifestations of people in history, people in story and fantasy, who have been throughout human history, who have been realized in the form of a servant.
Right,
or
skip the
a familiar.
You gotta skip the technical definitions, man.
Okay, simply put, in Fate Grand Order, you can summon historical figures.
Alright, sounds about as much as I need to know.
Yeah. And pirates happen to fall under a class of servants known as riders, because they ride ships. Except for one character who happens to ride something else, something pointy, not necessarily sharp.
Do I want to find out about what that is?
Yeah, the person is Queen Meb of Irish mythology. But hey, back to the pirates. So there are actually quite a number of, I would say, well-known pirates that have been depicted inside of Figure and Order. Edward Teach, Blackbeard. He is also One Piece also has a depiction of him, Kurohige Blackbeard, Marshall D. Teach, and we also have some others like Francis Drake, Captain Francis Drake, who has been gender banned inside Fate.
Yeah, who is not?
That's a very good question. Astolfo has not been.
Right, yes.
Yeah, there's also M. Bonnie and Mary Reed, pair of female pirates. Let's see, what other pirates are there? Technically, Christopher Columbus. Could he be considered a pirate?
I guess.
I mean, he looks like a pirate based on his Ascension art.
Sure did plunder the North Americans.
I mean, I'm actually not sure. Then there's also Bartholomew Roberts, otherwise known as Salazar, inside the game. And at that point, I'm not too sure if there are any other more riders who would qualify as a pirate.
Yeah.
Or any more pirates who would be turned into riders at that. With that said, I think that's like all the anime, manga references for pirates that I could possibly drum up right now. And since this is it's a whiskey podcast, we're definitely not going to be drinking rum as of now, aka the first 10 minutes of this podcast.
Yeah.
So why don't you fill me in on what whiskey that you have obtained for this episode?
So this whiskey caused my wallet some pain. But yeah, what we have here is Miyagikyo single malt. Yeah, Nika whiskey.
Yes.
As for the details about its tasting notes and what you can expect, I would have exactly no idea because it's so complicated. I couldn't wrap my head around it.
Well, we'll be getting to that shortly. Otherwise, stay tuned for the whiskey review of the, what's it called again? Miyagikyo single malt Nika whiskey. Alright, time to get started with the whiskey review. Ben, I've got you something a little special for this episode. Knowing your penchant for chilled whiskey, I got you some whiskey stones for you to chill your drink, but without having any of the additional liquids that will come along with it. Aside from, mild condensation, I guess. Why don't you get to pouring us a neat dram of Miyagikyo single malt whiskey?
Yes, thank you so much for your consideration. clearly you have different tastes for whiskey. Well, if anyone has any preferences, please put them down in the comments. Would you rather your whiskey chilled or room temperature?
I think I'm going to make a post about that.
Is that slightly too much?
Not really. It looks very yellow.
Yeah, very deep
Comparison.
gold color.
Yeah, not brown like I was expecting.
Might be because this is made from barley grain.
Barley grain, huh?
I am very afraid that your glass might crack.
Well, you were supposed to put the stones in first.
Ah, right.
With that said, let's give it a whiff. Oh, pretty light. Not bad. Definitely that hint of honey caramel sweetness. Okay, I have high hopes. Hopefully this would make up for whatever, well, Suntory stuff we
Abomination?
drank the last time.
Right, the abomination.
Absolute abomination.
Yeah, apparently it says that there's supposed to be notes of banana. Are you getting any notes of banana?
No, unlike the EY. It is more like 30% alcohol and 70% like very mild notes of things.
Mellow,
Sweet
sweet things, yeah.
Alright, cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, this is stronger than it smells. Good God, but I'm actually not getting any particular notes.
It is complex. I am confused pretty much as confused as when I read the tasting notes. Yeah. So what it says here is that you're supposed to taste licorice spiced, ginger cinnamon flavors, and chocolate tones.
I mean, I get like mild bitter, yes.
Yeah.
I get like stronger alcohol than the smell implies. I mean, spice definitely is already part of the alcohol strength as well.
And for the finish, supposed to be some tangy character, lemon grapefruits, with lingering notes of tobacco spices, toasted nuts, well, definitely feel the nuts, and stewed fruits.
Yeah, not just nuts but spice.
Yeah, spicy.
Unexpected. What grain is this?
Oh.
What weird grain is this? Barley?
Yeah, says it is barley grain. Right? Where do I see that? I gotta give it another look.
Don't tell me you're drunk already and you can't read. Like, it just started. Develop aromas of malted barley, exotic fruit, banana, licorice, and camphor. I don't know what camphor is.
Well, apparently it was something that was growing in Taiwan a while back, but
ooh, now the nut really hits its aftertaste.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting taste profile, a bit intense. Perhaps chilling it might have helped. Chilling it might have helped. This is why people drink chilled whiskey.
Doubt it.
Probably. I have no idea.
Well, like you, I enjoy things raw. Except meat. Okay. Not a smoky whiskey, but definitely not the sweet that I was looking for. I say it's got a strong kick to it. Hopefully I think it needs something to tone it down. Maybe that's when we'll see the good stuff.
Perhaps. It is just way too intense. It doesn't have enough time to mellow out the flavor, I guess. It's hard. It is hard. It is fast. Yeah.
Are you feeling like this is a good investment so far?
Not really. Perhaps I'm just not that complex of a whiskey drinker, but not something that Nah. Yeah.
I think we both need to experience chewing some tobacco if we're ever gonna find out what the heck that flavor is supposed to be.
Perhaps. We'll find out what
Hey.
exactly camphor is.
Yeah, I mean, we can typey in the short time that will be, well, away. If that's it, I think this wraps up it. The Miyagikyo single malt neat.
Alright. So, yeah. After the interesting bottle of whiskey neat. Complex indeed. Well, let's get back to the topic at hand. So, pirates. Well,
yeah,
we are not exactly talking about the fantasy pirates today, are we? More the modern pirates.
Modern pirates.
Yeah, when it comes to anime and manga, specifically when referred to by the Japanese law that was passed in like 2012, rewritten in like 2020 or something.
That's on you, man. I thought we were talking about actual pirates, like Pirates of the Caribbean, swashbuckling.
When we talk about pirates, there's only one thing that, modern pirates, other than Captain Phillip, there's only one thing that you relate to modern pirates, which is the Pirates Bay.
Yes, the Pirates Bay.
Online piracy,
It was
content piracy.
It was a gold mine.
Indeed. But that's what we are talking about today. Well, more specifically, what we'll be focusing on. So, yeah.
What do you actually even use the Pirate Bay for? I know I have plenty of users.
Right. I mostly used it for music.
No.
What?
Like, definitely not. No, absolutely not. I believe the only way I used music in the past, or the only way I got music, was free YouTube downloader.
Well, when you want to get album CDs and whatnot.
I beg your pardon.
What?
No, I don't think so. I do think that there was a specific torrent platform.
Yeah, perhaps I'm just mixing them up. Well, Pirates Bay definitely had a lot of games. I didn't really use Pirates Bay for much
Bay
of
was
those games.
Stonks for games. That was my entire childhood, man. I think the earliest crack game I ever played was Halo Combat Evolved. Yeah. It was how I got my childhood trauma of the flood. Ignoring that part, it's also how I first experienced FPS games. Not by your typical like flash games that you've played, but it's actually through Halo Combat Evolved. I think the only thing preceding that was RTS games, which I was really bad at, like Diablo. Technically, it's a hack and slash. World of Warcraft, the old Dota one.
Oh wow, that is a long time. Wait, you had to crack that?
I think I actually had legitimate copies of that.
Right.
I think, but Dota was mod, so yes. Right. Obviously, I had to have someone do it for me.
Yeah,
but with that said, wasn't the only crack game that I played. Like there were plenty more that even on a Mac, because I used the MacBook when I was in my younger years, teenage years. So I'm quite sure I torrented Morrowind.
Sorry, what is
The Elder Scrolls?
Okay.
4 or 3 Morrowind. Yeah, before Skyrim, and then aside from that, there was also Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare.
Man, you really use the Pirates Bay a lot.
Yeah, there was a time.
Yeah.
And Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, successful cracked copies of it could be used to play online multiplayer modes. Because I do remember playing like PvP with some friends back in the past. I think even Halo Combat Evolved, the cracked copy allowed me to go online and play multiplayer with like very, very random strangers, but it was very hard to find at that time.
I thought that cracked copies of online games with multiplayer tended to be a bit more buggy, like the straight up don't work kind of buggy, you know what I mean?
I mean, it did work. It's just very questionable to the safety and security of your device.
Oh, I think the only cracked games that I ever played, I guess, were Planet and Little Busters.
Serious?
Yeah, I wasn't really that much of a gamer in the past.
I mean,
other than League.
If those were the kind of games you're talking about, surely you could have went for like Katawa Shoujo or something.
You didn't need to pirate that. It was free.
Yeah, you didn't need to.
Exactly.
But surely you have played something along that line instead, right?
Well, I did go over to it soon, like after a while.
I see.
Right.
Yes. Oh, speaking of visual novels, I think there were also cracked copies of Fate Stay Night available.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
That was good.
What do you expect?
That was
Yeah.
actually good until I gave up like 1 hour in because I couldn't stand reading that much text. Aside from that, I think that kind of like rounds up most of the games that I got when I was younger.
Sounds about right. Yeah, but definitely, we're not endorsing piracy, of course. We're just,
I mean, the Piracy doesn't technically exist anymore now. It just
Well,
exists
technically.
as multiple proxies of it.
yeah. But yeah, if you can afford the games, just get a copy, support the creators. But that's not the point of the topic today.
Yeah,
So-
we're talking about piracy.
Yeah, we're talking about
And
piracy.
the illegal piracy
Exactly.
of
So-
downloading stuff illegally.
Yeah. So what brought about this topic in the first place was how Japan has been trying to crack down on online piracy of like anime, manga. Think last year they allocated, what was it again, 1 billion yen to the freaking
Is 1 billion even a lot?
1 billion yen
But
in
it's
Sing
kind of-
dollars would be considered about 10 million.
I don't know, man.
Oh,
I
wait.
don't know the currency
Huh.
exchange. Isn't 1,000 yen about $10?
Yeah, about there.
Okay.
But still, it's a significant amount. Was it 1 billion or was it 100 billion? I need to go get that check, but
I don't
Yeah,
know,
they-
but in the meantime, I'll just whine about the other things that I've used the Pirate Bay to obtain. For a time, I did get software, aside from video games, through the Pirate Bay. Cracked versions of Final Cut Pro. At that time, it cost about $150. But then again, I could never use it because my Mac would just crash. Because it was, I don't know, 79 gigabytes, around there. Then my Mac couldn't even run it. There was also Photoshop.
Oh yes, Photoshop definitely.
Yes, so Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Flash, there were cracked copies of those. Flash was very good. I enjoyed using Flash to create very ridiculous animations when I was younger. And Photoshop is, well, now we just use GIMP. Okay, you use Photoshop.
Yeah,
I use
no,
GIMP.
I use GIMP.
We use GIMP now.
Yeah,
We use GIMP
we use GIMP.
because it's free.
Mhm.
GNU Image Manipulator. Otherwise, I don't exactly know of like any other software that I've like went out my way to get cracked copies for. I did get a lot of movies. Because Pirate Bay was a treasure trove, a
Yeah.
solid treasure trove of HD videos, of cam rips being like camera rips of people using a camcorder or something to record a movie inside the movie theater. So horribly illegal.
Yeah, but super low quality, man.
Yes,
I
super
don't
low
know
quality.
how you would sit through a freaking filming of yeah.
I mean, when you wanted to watch like Iron Man back in 2008, that was one of the ways.
Desperate times calls for desperate measures.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What else is there? What else is there?
But to put it simply, piracy was one of the only ways that you as a young kid who had
Without money.
effectively no money, no income, would be able to participate in the culture of a society. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean that's like I wouldn't say pirated. Anime streaming websites were my entry into anime, getting me started.
WatchAnimeOn.com.
Yeah, it got me started on anime to turn me into who I am now. Not sure if it was a very sound decision looking back, but hindsight 2020. But yeah, piracy plays a very big role in getting people into the culture.
I wouldn't just say any culture. It gets us into any media-based culture that we could possibly. That was very paywall in a sense. That
Was isn't the right term. I think it still is.
still is, but it's more like there was a tremendous need for money, or the financial cost was just too high in the past.
Yeah.
There was absolutely no way that we could have bridged that cost and actually gotten ourselves into any kind of media-based culture like anime, manga, movies, even music. That was even hard to assess in the past.
Yeah. It's still hard to access.
Without piracy, or the piracy as utility in this case of spreading the media,
Mm-hmm.
there was absolutely no way that it would have propagated and no way that we could have possibly taken part in it.
Yeah, so effectively, yar har fiddle dee, you are a pirate.
A pirate is me.
And a pirate is you.
What can I say? Everyone has done it one way or another.
Yeah, and
Unless you tell me that you watch anime on like nothing but Netflix. Maybe if you're a 12-year-old, that's possible.
oh man, you're missing out on so much.
Yeah, I'm missing out so much.
God damn, but
grief.
yeah. Well, before we get into the more detailed
Yeah.
part of piracy,
Yeah.
I think we might need to get a bit more inebriated.
Sure. Hopefully it would be better this time.
Perhaps my brain will actually be able to make coherent sentences.
Right. Right. It's not no more McLeod, more so like there's no more Eternal Forest theme at the start now.
Ah,
What happened to putting it in first?
my bad. It's fine. You can put it in later. Alright. ISIS.
Yeah, ISIS. Oh no.
Cool.
Spilled some. Okay, Ben.
Yes.
Us review the Miyagikyo single malt on the rocks.
Sure.
Cheers.
I'm gonna let it chill for a while.
Yeah. So much more subdued now. So much more. It's still good. Still tastes nuts.
Taste nuts. What you taste are these nuts.
It's just nuts.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I think all I needed was a bigger sip to get some with a nice alcoholic burn and nuts. I don't know.
It's just
Is it just a higher percentage alcohol thing?
there was a slight hint at the start of something fruity, but then the nut just kicks you in the nuts.
Yeah. Oh. Interesting. I think we're going to need to add in our own fruit for this. Okay, I say that. On the Rocks is definitely a lot better than it was neat. Although it's, well, just nuts.
You know what I think it tastes like?
Yeah.
Spicy Jim Beam.
Spicy Jim Beam?
Yeah.
Really?
Spicy Jim Beam. Jim Beam was just nuts, but this is spicy nuts.
A bit more like Wild Turkey to me.
Really?
Yeah. I think we should do Wild Turkey for... I was thinking of doing Wild Turkey for the addendum episode.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, because it's not how I keep referencing like this one Bucky character. And apparently I didn't reread enough Bucky, but this one character who's well known for his grip actually just drinks nothing but Wild Turkey.
The heck?
Yeah. It's even shown in the manga itself, just Wild Turkey right there.
I would say they're Russian, but Russians don't drink whiskey. What?
I mean, they're supposed to be known for drinking vodka. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there is vodka up there. There's like 3 different brands.
Yeah, you can make some how's it, oolong tea again?
Okay, so I take it for a third mixer. We're doing vodka, rum, and whiskey.
You trying to kill us?
No?
Now we can give it a shot.
Well, this has been a rather lengthy review, but I would say that, hey, On the Rocks really does like mitigate a lot of the cons of a higher percentage alcohol whiskey.
Yeah, but it still tastes so nutty. There's no other flavors. Either it's way too subdued or that. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe the ice took away some of the flavor. Like you don't get the intense.
Alright, next time I'll just make ice out of distilled water. How about that?
Dude, can we just put that in the freezer?
I mean, it's still different from having it on rocks.
Just throw it in the freezer next time, man. It'll taste so much better.
Alright, that's it. Let's get on with the rest of the episode. Okay, so now that we have had a more, well, mitigated whiskey, why don't we get back to the topic at hand? We're talking about piracy, right? Let's at least stick to the anime podcasting.
Yeah, exactly.
So we need to talk about anime. So, do you have any points you wanna like throw out at the very start?
Well, you know how anime only started to boom like in honestly recent years. I won't say recent years, but it's only in the recent decade that it really became like something of a very big phenomena, global phenomena. That
I would say that it was a very niche feel back
Yeah.
in like it was very niche, or it's a very cartoon feel back
Mhm.
when it was in the early 2000s, and then it became like a really big prolific field and industry by itself in the later 2010s
Yeah.
into this year. But then COVID kind of like shut that off at the end of the year, so now we can just like do a King Crimson and jump to this year.
Yeah, let's just forget COVID ever happened.
Yeah, let's just forget COVID ever happened. You know, AFA was great.
Yeah,
AFA
was great. But yeah, so you know how anime and manga only came into prominence in the recent decade. Prior to that, it was really quite niche and generally underground. It's like propagation of the material wasn't really that common.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
In the sense that like Kinokuniya was the only brand
Mm-hmm.
that I knew of that stocked raw Japanese manga. So Japanese manga, so manga that still had the Japanese text, and it was hard to find
Mm-hmm.
the translated versions, like official translations of the actual mangas in other bookstores except Kinokuniya. It was only in Popular, which is another like I would say more well-known Singaporean bookstore brand that had translated manga. Even there was
Very limited.
very limited in
Yeah.
terms of like the series that they had. Like they had what, Pokemon, Digimon.
Yeah, essentially only those that are well known enough.
It's like those that were
yeah.
global cartoon brands, you know. But nowadays, you walk into Popular, you can find just about the typical manga plus like Weekly Shonen Jump mangas.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can find like
Kimetsu no Yaiba.
at least like 5 isekai mangas on the shelf right now.
Isekai is a hard pass, but I think it's more of like the super conventional finished
Really?
series. Yeah. I'm gonna bet that you could even find like what, Bleach in there. Even
Oh
though
no,
Bleach
definitely.
finished like what, 10 years ago.
Oh, there's a new season on it.
Of course, it's
Yeah.
a new season. It's been absolutely wonderful so far. I could literally make my own Bleach episode on this by itself, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely subarashi.
Essentially, propagation of Japanese anime manga material in the US generally follow the same trend. There was actually a movement to like remove anime from the US TV channels, if I'm not
Really?
wrong. Yeah.
A
Quite
movement to
a while
remove it.
quite a while back, because it didn't fit in line with like the US ideals and that kind of stuff.
Like the kind of values that's propagated through the media.
Yeah.
Ah, come on, man.
So yeah, I mean, Astro Boy. It was the Astro Boy period. That period.
Astro Boy. No,
Yeah.
that's an old name.
That period.
That's like a 2005
But
thing.
yeah.
It's
So
like old Dragon Ball Z. Namek Sega, Dragon Ball Z.
freaking Zack Spell.
Yeah, it's Ashbel.
Yeah, that period. But yeah, it went underground after that, and most of the materials were actually propagated by small circles that did their own translations.
Hey, you're talking about what I know. Scanlations.
Yeah, scanlations.
Scanlations and fansubs.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Absolutely
how
wonderful.
most of the material were passed around previously, and even to this day in like certain countries where there isn't really that big a consumer base with a very specific language.
I do think scanlations were the very root cause of why like manga even spread.
Yeah, exactly. They were the fundamental cause that resulted in the
The boom
phenomena,
of the manga
yeah,
industry. So it's a
that it is
boom.
today. But
You know.
now, piracy. If you are a pirate, you're painted as a bad guy.
Well, hey, it did what it had to do, man.
Yeah, but the scanlation and the translators, that community still plays a very big role in the community, in the industry, but they are now being posed as the bad guys. Just like, haha, you're making free translations of our manga and propagating it online. No, you're eating into the profits. Like freaking 8 trillion yen in profits were lost because of online copying, online sharing of translated copies of mangas and anime.
I should give like a very, very vague example that I know rather well of. there was a scanlation team
Mm-hmm.
that did unofficial translations, English translations for certain Japanese manga.
Hmm.
And what ended up happening is that sometime while they were doing the sequel to that series, they were doing the English translations unofficially.
Mm-hmm.
They all of a sudden stopped, and after like a period of maybe like, I think 12 weeks, they actually managed to convert the results of what they did,
Mm-hmm.
aka like they grew that manga's community by
Mm-hmm.
their translations, and they managed to lend themselves official roles as the official English translators for that manga, and their old scanlations are being used as the official English translations for the prequel and the sequel
Wow.
of that manga.
That is
So it's one case of piracy somehow, like, because they first obtained the raw,
mm-hmm.
and then they translated the raw into an English scanlation, a fan translation,
Mm-hmm.
and eventually their good work was recognized by way of the growth of said community, such that they ended up being hired as the official translators for that series.
Hmm.
But piracy is still at the root of the issue. They obtained raws, and then they did unofficial translations.
Yeah, that's one way of capitalizing off the work of the pirates, I guess, the translators, scanlators. Yeah, but essentially what Japan is currently doing doesn't
Shutting
follow
down.
that trend. Yeah,
Yeah.
they just shut everything down. It doesn't matter if your intent is just to help propagate the material for the community's sake. They don't care. The current law makes it such that anyone caught uploading or in more recent times downloading these materials are
Persecuted.
Well, I guess it doesn't make sense to persecute like small volume downloaders and whatnot. But yeah, essentially everyone is now a criminal for doing previously what helped to boost the community.
Yeah, what was a very normalized activity that, happened to be very beneficial for the industry itself. Like,
Yeah.
there's no other way that a new Japanese manga, especially one that is not immediately receiving an official English translation, like a Weekly Shonen Jump
Mhm.
manga, was going to spread unless it was a fan translation
Yeah.
of Raw, and then they would just like fan translate like 10 raw chapters, upload it, and bang, suddenly, because of the the niche themes
Mhm.
or the particularly arousing content, people would get drawn to it, and then it would bam. If it was good enough, it would even form its own little fan community, and people would start to, form their own little. That would be a nice little like social phenomenon, and the whole thing would grow as its own like little microcosm, little community, little society.
Well, actually, while speaking thus far about piracy, I think we skipped over a very important point about that we needed to discuss before this, which is specifically about how piracy is not really a matter of moral failure, but more of accessibility to content.
More, okay, yes, I think that is a very poignant point. That, I think, is it really moral or is it legal?
Moral. If you pirate, you're a bad guy. Legal only comes after
but
that.
in the eyes of the law, in the eyes of
it
other
only
humans.
comes after that. Like, the idea now that if you pirate, you are taking money away from the content creators is I guess it's a relatively new idea.
Relatively new idea.
For the manga and anime industry specifically, the West has been, they have been working hard on copyright laws for
a long time.
But yeah,
before we get into that, why don't we wrap up our whiskey reviews by having the Miyagikyo single malt with a bunch of other mixers, the two conventional mixers that we've always been using, and a rather unconventional one.
Right. Oh, it's been that long? I didn't know it was that long.
Well, yes, inebriation's catching up to you.
Oh shit.
With that said, whiskey review time.
Alright, well, I think after this session, I'm gonna just like die, cause as I mentioned to you off camera,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try doing the rum, whiskey, and vodka.
Sure.
Cause I have problems.
That's it. We have our usual Coke Zero and ginger ale.
Ginger ale.
Alright, let's juice ourselves up, man. There's too much foam. I can't estimate.
Yeah, it's Coke. What you expect?
There's too much foam. I can't estimate.
That's Coke. What you gonna expect?
Okay, so a bit more. Okay.
Alright.
So let's do the special mixture now. I'm just going to dump the rum first. So
I have no idea how
probably
much.
gonna need to actually use my eyes for this. So
Ah,
probably
yes.
about half shot of that and a half shot
Eyeball.
here.
Maybe slightly less. I've got a vodka waiting.
Okay, so I happen to have a Bacardi Carta Oro Superior Gold Rum. I've actually never drank this before in my life.
Wait, what? Then why is the bottle open?
That's a very good question.
Huh.
It's not mine,
Right. Yes, your father is also an alcoholic.
but that is mine, the Belvedere.
Right, I'm just gonna. Do you want some?
Yeah, of course.
Alright, so I'm gonna pour us a half shot of this as well.
Yes. Okay.
Right. I'm just gonna finish the rest of the bottle on yours. Wait, what?
Wait, no. Hold up.
Hold up.
This was not according to the plan.
There was never any plan in the first place.
Agreed, but I think a bit more.
A bit more?
Yeah, a bit more. I literally didn't even see the levels go up. Alright. I thought it was just you tilting glasses. Okay, time
Alright.
to juice ourselves up.
Yes. The
So,
main course.
How much in this?
Half a shot?
Half shot, you say?
Or maybe a shot? Yeah, half a shot is good. That's gonna kill, like. Pretty sure that's gonna kill me for tomorrow.
No.
Yes,
No.
eyeballing. Alright, and for the rest?
I forgot.
Yes, we're gonna drink like the Coke and the ginger ale straight, man. Cause you know this is whiskeys and soft drinks
Yeah.
apparently, and some mixture that will probably kill me.
Yeah. We just write it off as an accident.
Right. Please tell the paramedics that when they come over.
Do you want me to leave like a barbell near you and then say like you were lifting like 200 or something and then you succeeded?
What?
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 Just a lifting meme. Alright.
Alright.
Let's get the show on the road. I
Yeah.
guess.
Well, first things first, I
Which
guess.
one are we sampling first?
Well, since the ginger ale is the closest to us.
Ginger it is. Alright. Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Miyagi kissing a malt with ginger ale.
What do you think of it? Well, we've already
strong.
tried it.
Oh, nutty ginger ale. Oh shit.
Oh yeah.
This is
Nutty
nothing like the Suntory, man. This one has a kick.
Hmm.
I didn't even add that much.
Indeed. Well,
Ooh, nut.
I don't think you can compare anything to a fucking Suntory. That was a disappointment.
Why
And
you
a
swear
half.
so much? Now I have to edit everything.
Ah shit. Another one. You
What's the last?
can't compare anything to the Suntory, man. That thing was a disappointment and a half, and that's saying something.
I think we're gonna need to find some way of disposing of that.
What, the Suntory?
Yeah.
Oh no worries, my grandma is using it to cook.
Interesting.
Mhm.
Interesting. Mine is relatively untouched.
Oh, which one do you put it in again?
The Sing Sing.
Right. I don't think you should insult the bottle like that, man.
No, Sing Sing, I need you to give me another bottle so that I can throw away the old one.
Now I know why the shells for those few bottles were never touched.
Right.
Oh yeah, this is strong
It's
nutty
strong stuff,
ginger ale, man.
Oh shit.
45%.
Yeah, man.
This isn't joking around. How much is that again?
This is a very good question. I'm looking around to find it. 40%.
And I would assume this is around 40% as well.
Exactly.
Da, 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 da.
It might be on the front.
96 proof?
No, it's right here.
Oh, 40%. Right. So this is the strongest alcohol in the bunch.
Yeah. In
Oh.
actuality, I think we just reduced the percentage, so we might actually die less.
Indeed.
It's just like drinking, it's like drinking 2 weaker shots of that. Holy moly. Okay, man.
Oh, that is
Interesting. Now,
Hmm.
the classic.
the
Coke.
classic. Cheers.
Cheers. Ooh, strong. Alcoholic Coke.
Mm-hmm. At least it doesn't even dampen nutty flavor.
The nut is actually like reduced for me.
It comes after the Coke, I think.
Sweetness is but the banal solution to this problem.
Indeed. If you want to get someone drunk real fast, just make it very sweet.
Ooh, they wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
Indeed.
At this point, it's just like the alcohol taste plus Coke. Nut for me has been neutralized. What about you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Coke. Coke is the right choice.
I mean, if you really wanted to just turn it into an alcoholic Coke, yeah, Coke is definitely a choice.
Yeah, pricey way of making alcoholic Coke.
Doesn't really bring out any flavors. Perhaps tonic water would have in the future.
Sure.
We can always try after this off camera, and we can always just put the results into our Insta page.
That's content you can look forward to 2023, where we will be uploading every single one of our whiskey reviews to date onto Instagram. What? Yes.
Huh. Alright.
It's just that I need a sufficient amount of alcohol to ensure that I have adequate creativity.
I'm pretty sure you're not short-handed.
Yeah, of course.
I'll assume you don't drink enough plastic shots to kill yourself.
No, I'm not going to drink the Finlandia.
And what's it gonna do sitting there?
It's going to be used as a sacrifice for every Silverman's addendum from now on.
Pretty sure you can just use it to wipe down your desk.
No, I light it on fire.
Right. What, every episode?
You do realize I've only published one?
Yeah. You gotta light it on fire every time.
Of course. But there's
what a good use
more
of
to come, I guess. More to come.
It is not. Well, let's go on to the.
Not gonna delay your death.
Let's get this done and over with.
Okay, let's give it a whiff.
Cheers.
Actually, it just smells like pain.
Jesus. Well, before I die, yeah.
I was actually going to throw into the nosing glass to get a better whiff. It just smells like paint.
Nail polish.
Same shit. Alright.
Paint thinner.
Time to
What do you expect from this?
give it a swig. What I expect from it
Is pain?
No. I expect to finally find some sweetness in the alcohol that I was expecting from the very beginning of this episode.
Why, because of the rum?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Alright. Time to give it a swig.
I'm not looking forward to this.
Now this is complex.
Oh yeah.
This is complex.
Perhaps I need to get some water first. Maybe the Coke is.
I don't know how to characterize this, but if you want a fun fact, you know that if you crunch on the ice close enough to the mic, I actually have to edit the sounds out. Because I found out firsthand when I did it.
Is that a dare?
No, it's not a dare. It's just a statement of fact.
Alright.
Oh my god.
Wait, so what's the plan for EOY, by the way?
The plan?
The plan?
That's a very good question. I'll run you through the plans later, but let's keep the listeners in the dark for a bit. I know it's starting to just taste like
Nuts.
nothing.
Well, I'm still getting the nuts.
It's just
But
it's just alcohol.
the mix dampens the initial punch. It just tastes like alcohol and then nuts.
Okay, if I were to put it succinctly, it feels like the liquids are immiscible. Like they're not mixing well. So I'm getting a hint of nuts when I take one swig. Then I'm getting a hint of like vodka when I take another swig, and I'm getting a weird hint of the complex flavor of like combined whiskey and rum on the third swig.
We like to just give it another mix again.
Wait.
Like, give it a swirl.
Yeah, let's give it a swirl. You spin me right round, baby.
Right, and
round.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna spin that onto your laptop at that rate.
Nope.
No?
It's like complicated vodka. Like it has the taste of vodka
Mm-hmm.
and the taste of whiskey.
So the taste of vodka and the taste of nuts.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
As complicated as nuts can taste.
Yeah.
This must be one of our longest whiskey reviews ever because we're doing such ridiculous bullshit right now.
Well, I mean, it only comes to... It only makes sense that we do ridiculous stuff. I would say the Mimic was pretty darn ridiculous enough as it is. Yeah.
I don't know, it just smells like nail polish.
Yeah. Yes, it does. Well, I'm starting to regret this already. You know how I said off the
Camera.
record, yeah, that I was gonna do a good wrap up of whatever was said previously. I'm starting to doubt my capabilities of being able to.
Is this review going to be the wrap up at this rate?
Well, hopefully no. We should still have a final section usually, like following trends. I'm gonna just leave this here for the time being.
Well then,
And let
I
it
guess
sit there.
I guess that is the wrap for the whiskey review. It's been like 12 minutes.
Indeed.
Alright.
So wait, we still have to give a score for this.
Touche. Okay. So how would you rate this? I would rate it like a 6.5, 6.75.
Yeah, around there, 6.5. It's way.
For the price, it's definitely it doesn't give me the good vibes.
Yeah, maybe it's just us as like amateurs, but the flavors don't really stand out individually. It's just the nuts that stand out. There's no like, it says there that there are supposed to be fruity like notes to it.
Where's my banana smell, man?
Indeed.
You know the EY whiskey actually tastes like bananas, but this is just a disappointment.
Indeed.
Where's my bananas, man?
The punch is way too strong and it's way too quick. It dissipates way too quick, so you can't actually like taste anything.
Yeah, and then just taste
Just nuts. And there's no real like very pleasant aftertaste like you would have for the Shinozakis. And your
Don't say Shinozakis like it's plural. It's
sorry,
the Kyushu
Shinozaki.
Cowboys.
Yes, the Kyushu Cowboys Shinozaki and the Inoue.
Those were the first whiskeys we reviewed, but those are probably the best whiskeys we have
Perhaps
had on this
indeed.
channel. Soon to come to a recommendation video near you.
Alright.
Alright, I think that is a wrap.
There's a wrap. Alright.
Okay, Ben. So it's time for you to do your promise wrapped up, just like the Promised Neverland.
Indeed. Let's just hope it isn't as disappointing as the anime of The Promised Neverland. Anyways,
Season 2. But
yeah, so essentially, like the train of thought for this entire episode started off with the coda, which is the
what
anime.
Coda's an abbreviation.
Yes, it is the Japanese Association for Content Distribution Overseas. So CODA for Content Overseas Distribution Agency.
Okay.
Right. So the terms or the definition used for piracy in the coda is one that is defined by major publishing firms. So firms like Kadokawa,
Shueisha, Kodansha.
yeah, those firms. So specifically the way that piracy is put in terms of the definition is that
yes, go on.
yeah, so
Definition of piracy.
so the way that they define piracy is that they deem every single view that is not through official means, that is not memes,
Official means.
yes, official means that are not through any official sources that do not make them money.
For example, like Manga Plus.
Yeah, exactly.
Premium,
Anything that
premium channels.
they do not stand to profit of, they deem those as monetary losses. that is how they came up with the 900 billion total losses that the industry has suffered in the last year alone.
Last year, not just decade?
No, just last year alone.
My goodness.
My goodness, indeed. How they come up with this number is beyond me, but essentially every single lost view is equated to a lost sale.
I see.
Right. But of course, that doesn't exactly relate to reality because, not every pirate will consume the content if it was on an official source.
Very true.
Right?
Very true. I agree.
It's not like every 12-year-old out there will be inclined to read a manga if they had to pay for the services.
Agreed.
Not that they can afford the services.
There are probably better things that they should be spending their pocket money on.
Exactly. So the way that these firms come up with the numbers that they posit to the Japanese government is not exactly reflecting of reality, justifiable in that sense, and it doesn't exactly really help the content creators that they purport to support. Like there have been a couple of studies that have shown that content creators in terms of their wages have not really experienced much increase in the recent years, even after like the increase in streaming services. And yeah, it's essentially these firms that stand to profit off the Coda Act, like the Coda and any copyright laws that have been enforced by the Japanese government.
If I'm understanding this right, what you're saying is that content creators, especially those who help to spread or proliferate the content, Japanese...
Not even spread or proliferate, even those that create the content themselves, the animators, the artists themselves.
So those are the kind of content creators you're talking about.
Exactly. They don't even stand to really benefit of the boom of anime. Studies have shown... Yeah, exactly. Studies have shown that their salaries have not really increased over the years previously. I think there's one by JList, there's a few by MAL. But yeah, they really haven't benefited of the boom of anime.
MAPPA Studios.
Indeed. So what exactly is the point of this enforcement of the Copyright Act? It's only to the benefit of the businesses essentially. Yes. And also the licensing firms, but that's another hole that perhaps we can dive into another time. But yeah, essentially what piracy comes down to is sort of as I mentioned previously, it is a problem of accessibility.
Yes.
So the problem here lies in the fact that content really isn't very accessible.
Agreed.
Right?
Definitely.
Even in Singapore, right, there are plenty of streaming services available, or platforms available. So Crunchyroll, Netflix, and Funimation. Each of them require you to pay subscription fees, but their services, subscription fees, but they don't provide you the entire catalog of anime that has been historically available on your streaming websites.
In that, essentially, you're saying that they are trying to pull kind of like an Activision Call of Duty kind of thing, where they try and milk you for what it's worth with DLC.
Exactly. So each website or streaming site on their own has their own limited pool of anime that is available, and each has their own subscription fees. When added up together to gain access to the entire pool of anime is not really feasible for the
average viewer.
Yeah.
So the main point you're trying to stress, and I definitely agree, is that accessibility is 100% financially limited, and it only stands to profit the firms that seek to limit this accessibility for their profits, and piracy is the means by which, the illegal means by which this accessibility is further grown or enhanced.
It is essentially the only means for which the community is able to access the culture that they have become a part of.
Ironically, to the extent too.
Sadly. And even to the point about financial, it is not just financial limitations. Like for the streaming websites, there are plenty of region locks, if you are
Region
familiar with them.
locks,
Yes,
yes.
exactly. I am plenty familiar with that because I actually purchased the Angel Beats First Beats visual novel, and I came to find out that it was region locked to Japan only. So yeah, that's a problem with the industry itself that it does not seek to remove. It does not seek to address. You know,
Very much unfortunate. It reminds me of Final Fantasy, 14 or 15?
which is kind of the problem with the industry. It does not seek to address the problems that are currently limiting its ability to profit off the industry. More so is trying to work around like the current limitations and just enforce whatever they believe to gain them the most profits, which is not really something that the community doesn't really benefit the community that has formed around
It
it.
literally helps to fund it, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah, it's the absolute irony of it. It's like, you're just going to stop people from consuming your content because you want more money?
Indeed, the absolute irony of capitalism, but you know, that's for another time. But yeah, and well, put it one way, it is the content that we consume as anime fans is not something that is exactly elastic, if you were to put it in
Economic
economic
terms.
terms. Yeah, exactly. I can't really live without anime, per
Really?
se.
You sure it's not alcohol?
Well, alcohol is a different thing, but you know, anime forms a significant part of my identity and the culture that I've grown accustomed to.
Identity. Yes, we'll be talking about that in a future episode coming to
Indeed.
you soon.
So yeah, essentially, as anime fans, we are not really the consumption of anime is not something that is elastic. So we are forced to consume this content to stay relevant with the community, to remain relevant with the culture. But the firms are just essentially blocking us out behind a paywall. Yeah. So piracy is the only way in. Well, other than, you know, VPNs and whatnot. But
I think it's an unfortunate thing in that piracy is the best way of increasing accessibility, but at the same time happens to be, well, morally and legally.
it doesn't have to
problem.
be. Like we have mentioned before, piracy actually can play a very positive role in the industry. And if the industry actually recognizes it as a very important part of the industry, it can actually incorporate like aspects of piracy. Like you mentioned the scanlation group that became official. It can actually incorporate these aspects of piracy into the mainstream and make them like, yeah,
If I were to just make my own original point, it's more like the fact that piracy happens is evidence to the fact that there is an extreme accessibility limitation or problem that already exists. The only thing is that firms are not doing anything to address that problem, or you're doing anything to milk his advantage.
exactly. There is a demand that exists, but firms do not want to
Provide the
acknowledge.
supply.
Yeah,
You don't want
exactly.
to provide the solution to the problem when it's been laid bare. So other people seek out an alternative solution
Exactly.
that happens to be, well, bad, for lack of better term. to
As
their
defined
aims.
by the industry. As defined by the industry. And I think there have been a couple of studies. I might need to find the references to them.
You need so many references for every
Yes,
single
well,
study you've been saying so far.
There as a sociological student, we need to do references, but I believe there have been a few studies that have shown that those anime fans involved with piracy actually spend more in terms of merchandising than those who have not partaked in.
Anime by itself.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, it only makes logical
It
sense.
only makes logical sense. So the fact that unofficial means of spreading of content actually contributes to the industry is not something that is recognized by the industry itself.
But it's
in terms
very
of-
ironic in how effective it is.
Yeah, indeed it is. So this entire topic about piracy is just essentially a criticism of the current industry being dominated by the big firms, the big publishing firms that are very blind to the history of anime
how
coming
how
into
anime is propagated.
exactly how anime came into popular culture and how it has always been how historically it has been propagated in the niche communities that have formed around it.
Yeah, ironic, isn't it, that piracy is actually at the root of how the anime industry, anime manga, all kinds of Japanese games, manga, anime, how it's propagated throughout time. It's actually been through a lot of pirated means.
Indeed, unofficial memes. Let's not give it the term piracy because of the negative connotations in recent times. It is more unofficial meme or
Unofficial means of
yes.
propagation. I mean, even I'm quite sure that even One Piece by itself, our token pirate manga, has obtained most of its popularity by means of scanlations.
Indeed.
In that those people like me, RawDawgs, early individuals who like to see spoilers, we maintain our interest in reading the manga solely by the fact that we don't wait for the official releases. We actually look forward to the scanlations, and after the scanlations, we compare and contrast the official translations to see like, oh, what are the points that the scanlators might have gotten wrong, or what are the points that the official translators even might have gotten wrong. Because I'm quite sure that even among the weekly Shonen Jump mangas, the scanlations tend to be of a higher quality, especially by those who are more emotionally invested in the series.
That is indeed a point that is very significant.
Jujutsu Kaisen, latest episodes.
So many series have had redactions and censorships that doesn't make sense.
It's not so much that, but more like the fact that even official translators don't even do good translations, and that scanlators do the best possible translations, provide the best possible interpretations and translations of what the mangaka has made, and made it so contextually relevant when the official translators fail to. For example, Jujutsu Kaisen is the best.
Man.
Is the best example. The scanlations have done the best way of creating the interpretations to all the hand signs, to all the names of the domains, to all the technique names, compared to the official translations. They have went into such great detail. They have helped to elaborate upon the concepts of, for example, the like Kenjaku's domain expansion. That's one thing.
It's the passion of the community that actually brings about the relevance. It is the passion of the community that makes these contents that much more relevant, that much more relatable,
that much more enjoyable.
Exactly. But it is something that the industry has decided that it is not desirable. It is most unfortunate indeed.
Very unfortunate indeed. I think we've gotten our point across.
Yeah.
In that, well, we've just stated the truth. Piracy has been practically responsible for the growth of the anime and manga industry as we know it. And not encouraging you to participate in it, even though we may have participated in it.
But essentially, it needs to be recognized that the unofficial community is what actually
drives.
Is what exactly drives the industry, is what brings new people into the community, is what spreads the culture, is what brings profit to these firms that have decided that the unofficial community is something to be derived.
Especially by way of merchandising.
Exactly.
It's how you get new fans, and fans are the ones who buy your merchandise.
Well, with that said,
I think we've actually talked enough about piracy this episode. We didn't even talk that much about official pirates. Like, what the heck happened to my whole preamble about Fate Grand Order official pirates that I will teach Blackbeard, Francis Drake?
Well, to be fair, the fantasy pirates in anime,
One Piece,
quite limited to One Piece, right?
There aren't many settings that actually use pirates.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, that about rounds it up, I guess. Baseline, capitalism is stupid, community is good. Unofficial stuff. Yeah, but if you ever have the opportunity to support content creators, if you have the ability to purchase official merchandise, it is always good to support, because the industry doesn't run off just interest alone.
Yes. Money changes hands.
Indeed. As,
Yes, money makes the world go around.
as with AFA, that is very much the case.
Money changes hands indeed.
With that said, I think we
I
should.
think this rounds out the episode.
Yeah.
It's not necessarily a case of, oh, piracy good, piracy bad, but rather it's more a case of, let's take a slightly more nuanced take to how piracy operates within the world of anime and manga.
Indeed.
It actually has a really prevalent role in a more macroscopic view of things.
It is not just all about the money. There are many different aspects of an industry that needs to be considered.
Exactly, many social, cultural complications, many considerations there. Yeah, that's it. Perhaps a bit of a little complaint about the whiskey. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It might have been Japanese, it might have been pirate themed, but yeah,
And-
probably not the way to go.
Drink responsibly. Don't mix your whiskey with rum and vodka, and then, well, for in this case specifically, it helped a bit.
Yeah, ironically, it actually helped lower the alcohol percentage, so Ben is not going to be as smashed as he expected himself to be.
Well, I am plenty smashed right now. That's for sure.
Yeah, with that said, I think this rounds our episode on anime, alcohol, and piracy. Do give us a like, share, subscribe. Otherwise, comment down below, comment on our Instagram page. With that said, I think we're going to see you when the next episode comes.
Yeah.
Have a nice day.
Have a nice day indeed.